Mm, lost power here. Yep. This is completely out of power. So that's okay because we have a backup drive. So that's not a problem. Um, the last thing is to switch the outputs. So let's do this. We'll set up Pro Tools when we finish the meeting. Let's have the business meeting since we're online. Auctions are online. Um, yeah, let's just start like this. Power up, Eva. Can you hear me? Okay, Mama. We need to have a meeting. And I apologize. I had to disconnect real quick. I have to charge up. So one of the systems is almost complete. So I'll continue with the other ones. Right now I'm feeling great, yeah. But this is important because sometimes even if you try to avoid it, you still wind up getting busy and stuff like that. I've been chilling on the beach, just kind of walking on the beach, enjoying the beautiful scenery. And yeah, pretty much that's it. It's like my mind is going all over the place, so I know I needed to get centralized. So I'm trying to think. Let's just go slowly. How's that? So I'm gonna do a rehearsal when we finish, but I also need to speak to you about other things. So we're live on Twitch, Discord, Kick, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Patreon, StreamYard. We're online, okay? when the whole network is on, we have 200 channels right now. And I don't know, my mind is just, it's all over the place. But I just want to like clarify a few things. And this is part of the process. And I'm noticing I'm running low on power on everything. So maybe I can just look at the I had this on airplane mode, I'm sorry. I can just kind of go through the inventory and see what I have just off the top of my head. I have a 2026 Jade Pearl Green Lamborghini Revuelto. It's the only one I have in that color. Please pull that off the line. Yeah, we can't sell that because that's the only one I have. I have neon green, I have yellow, I have light neon, I have dark neon. I do not have that J Pearl. And I have a 22 Countach, the same neon. So I want to keep those two cars together. But the thing is, I have a light neon as well, but the green one I cannot sell. So I cannot do a deal with that car. Um, I have another Sion. This is the one I sold like a few months ago. So I guess it's traded hands, which I'm not too excited about. But I think they need this car in Canada, so I'll see if I can cut a deal on this car. Oh, you know what it is? No, 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 no. My correction. That one's going to Sotheby's. And that's the shit that gets me tight about Sotheby's. Like we do all this business when it comes to art and cars and precious metals and shit like that. But when it comes to the music shit, they act like they're brand new. You know what I'm saying? But oh man, well, I'm looking at the pictures. I know the car's been out in the sun. Like, come on now. I could tell it's clean though, but I don't like the way that they did the photography on this car. It makes it look too orange. The car actually looks more pink. It's more of a pink. So if you look at the avatar of my Cash App, this is why. But it's okay. For now, let me just put it back on the big screen here so I can see them better. All right, so we are here for clarification, right? Gathering of the minds. I want to explain certain things while the auction is live so that we can be on the same page, moving in the same direction at the same time, because I don't get to do this all the time, even though it's not that I don't want to. It's just that I have a lot going on, especially putting my health up to date is like number one priority. So, I'm half a cyborg, I'm half a machine. So I have to take care of the part that's human. You know what I'm saying? The part that's human that I still have, that's what I have to take care of. Give me one second. That's like you ever seen the Florida orange juice with the pulp? That's like the real deal. That's what I drink. All right, so we're gonna put this 21 Lamborghini Sion 6.3 on the block. One of 63. I own about 8 of them. I'm still missing 52. I'm missing 55 cars. This one is the second time I've owned this car, but when I sold it, it was a personal car, one owner car. Now it's 3 owners, so it's gonna go to the highest bidder. But I'm surprised to see what this car is gonna bring in because that changed a lot of things, to be honest with you. But let us carry on. So shout out to all of our family members and friends, colleagues, peers, and our business partners, of course. Shout out to BlackRock and Blackstone. So, and this official company time as well. We're raising venture capital. Let me look at the counter, 7:30. Okay. We're raising venture capital for the auction of my digital assets, my digital collectibles, my NFTs. One singular NFT is a commemorative of my 5,000 songs. One collective NFT, which is comprised of 100,000 NFTs, will commemorate everything leading up to the catalog total. And for the totality of the catalog, we're going to mint 500,000 NFTs, which will be able, they'll be displayed for purchase over the phone. So we'll do over the phone and online for the people that are viewing the stream of the auction. So before I get into specifics, let me explain to you. During the auction, we're going to have about 100,000 to 120,000 people live in the venue. So obviously, we need a venue that can host and hold, at least 100,000, and then we could probably try 20,000 in the parking lot or around the structures. This is for the record of in-person shopping for the NFT. So that's one record by itself. It is still a collective record. The current record for collective is only 30,000 NFTs. So those NFTs will be separate. So we'll have one for 10,000 community, that's one NFT collection, 30,000 for collective, that's the record we're trying to break. Then capacity will go for the record of 120,000. So that's 5 records all by themselves. We're going to do a totality collection based on fragment of the initial collections, that one's going to be 500,000. So the event will be an auction, will be an award show, will be live performances, and will allow other artists to come in and do their thing. And it will be a concert where I'm going to perform my greatest hits in Spanish. I'm not going to perform any other music because I'm going to reserve my greatest hits in English for the tour after the auction, thus giving the opportunity for other artists to be a part of the ceremony of the presentation. Now, the singular NFT will be for the 5,000 songs. That commemorative NFT does not include any intellectual property. None of the NFTs include intellectual property. From what I can see, we're aiming to break at least a dozen records the day of the auction. Are you with me? Okay. Most investors want to know what is the incentive, okay, for investing. So we're guaranteeing 200% return on investment the day of the auction. So we're going to do a media rollout between 2 and 3 months. We're going to have a budget. This budget is going to be divided into 3 or 4 elements. The final element I'll control myself. We're going to have the lion's share be distributed by VaynerMedia. We're going to let them handle that part. Then I'm going to take an additional budget to distribute to some of my team, and I'll reserve a portion for my personal attempts. So all I'm going to do is provide the for their efforts, which are the force multiplier to the auction. Now, after the ceremonies and the trophies that will be given out, the award shows that are going to be given out, where we're going to focus on veterans, military families, state and union workers, and people in education, people that, I want to recognize, people that I'm doing research on right now to be recipients of the Steve Benedict Award. So that's another part of the ceremony. So we'll have a venue where there will be vendors, there'll be sponsorships and endorsement opportunities. We will cross pollinate with every company that is invested in Venom R1 as the brand. And this includes everything in our portfolios. So we'll have real estate on display, we'll have jewelry, precious metals, watches, collectibles, arts. We'll have, of course, high end cars because that's my world. But we'll have other wild cards like my sneakers, my smartphone, my video game system, augmented reality glasses, my autonomous systems, my medical systems. Everything will be on display as a showcase. So, marketing, promotion, publicity for the event, the actual venue itself, all of the manpower, all of the security, all of the equipment, all of the logistics, all the technology, everything that will be essential for us to produce this beacon of energy. And this beacon of energy is where all the NFTs will be minted on location. The day of, the moment of. Nobody will be able to see the collection until it is revealed. Part of this budget will also go to the structuring of the distribution centers and chambers. Number one, with our initial business partners at OpenSea.io. Number two, with our also business partners at Rarible.io. Communications will be handled through Manek. All phone communications will be handled through Manek and the Manek app. Number one, including the final sale of all the major NFTs. Number two, the platform that we are going to use for the actual bidding and securing of digital assets will be on Whatnot, unless unless RM Sotheby's and Christie's decide to partake in the events, meaning we can have a few collections on one auction and on one platform, and have another series of the collectibles be retailed, you know, at the second auction house. There's different ways to do that. All of those things are still under negotiations, and this is the actual investment. From that investment, of course, I am going to be taking a beautiful advance, which is non recoupable, non negotiable, non interchangeable. It is what it is. This is my consultation fee. Everything else, aside from like insurance and things like that, will go into funding the event. Now, it's a proposition based value, it's a value for value relationship. It does not include any intellectual property because doing so would be detrimental to everything that we're building. Intellectual property will be negotiated at a future time directly through BlackRock and Blackstone and or whoever the highest bidder is. Okay? As far as we're concerned, as far as our aim, is always going to be pro BlackRock, pro Blackstone. Everything else is additional. Granted, the venue has to meet the requirements. The only variable requirement is to secure a venue that holds less than 120,000 occupants, in which where certain arenas may be at their maximum capacity, we can just go for a modified record because if the venue, even if the venue does hold 120,000 people, and let's say we only get 115,000, we'll change the bar for the record. So the intention and the plan is to invite all third parties, such as World Guinness Record, of course, um, just to name a few of the examples. There's other entities and other potential opportunities. Now, it's very important to clarify 200% return on investment the day of, because this is an investment that's going to pan out within 2 to 3 months, maybe 4 months. 4 months is really stretching it. The goal for our company is to secure the fourth quarter of 2026. We are not interested in 2027 unless it is mandatory, unless logistics wise something is different, which is another reason why I'm taking the advance because I have a huge family and I have a lot of things to do with my family. Um, and I also want to refrain from having the auction and being stuck between the first and second quarter, knowing that we have to pay taxes on the 14th of April of 2027. So these elements are important that the investors understand the urgency of what we're trying to do because we know based on our trajectory of the past 2 years how difficult it's been to have something so close to income tax time when we could do something in the fourth quarter and have plenty of time to do all the charitable works that we're planning to do to have everything in line associated with taxes. Now, other parties involved: sponsorships, endorsements, and those type of deals. For example, we can mention companies such as Nike, Adidas, Puma, Reebok, Under Armour as an example. My sneaker contract, my shoe deal, is still being negotiated. If and when that deal is closed, whether it's Nike, whether it's Adidas, or whether it's Reebok, which are the top three leading bids, the full intent is to use that as part of the marketing strategy. Meaning, at the venue, my sneakers will be on display. At the venue, when I perform, I will be wearing my shoe. And all of the people in the award ceremony and even the artists that will be invited to perform will be wearing the apparel, wearing the shoe wear, the shoe line, things like that. So that is important to let the investors know that they have no access to those other elements. And we are using every other partnership to sustain every other investment. So we are doing this as a collective. This is not pro Nike or pro Reebok or pro Puma or Under Armour or pro Adidas. This is everybody is gathered here to make this historical event happen in the most professional way possible, as efficient as possible. Also, for Guinness World Book of Records, it's important to note that Yankee Stadium should be able to hold 100,000 people plus. But if we use the Jay-Z concert series, they struggle to sell 30 to 35,000 seats. So that needs to be taken into consideration because when you're building a stage, you're taking up the real estate logistics wise of what can be seats. So we need to decide how many seats can be virtual seats where we can also establish a record. Maybe we'll set up equipment for like a charity or donation, something where if the people that are donating or are involved cannot attend in person, send somebody on their behalf. Or we can make that ticket available through different churches and charities. But we'll figure that part out. The important part is that every ticket is an NFT, that every seat is an NFT, that every attendee has an NFT, that every person bidding has an NFT. And it's already, just like an accredited investor, is pre-vetted before the day of, so that all physical documentation, contracts that need to be signed are turned in before the auction. And then during the auction, the the systems that will also be needed in place have to be in place for all digital transactions. Um, that's the venue in itself. Now, for those investors, they will get access to the actual tour because during this process, it can be before the auction, during the auction, or leading up to the auction, and directly after the auction, based on the input from, let's say, Nike and Adidas, Adidas doing the apparel and Nike doing the footwear or something along those lines, because all negotiations are open. If we negotiate with Nike, just like the Jordan brand, a sneaker contract is different from apparel. And the wild card and our advantage is our technology. Our technology will be in the shoes, our technology will be in the apparel. This is a difference because either way, our technology can communicate with itself, whether it's in the Nike shoe wear or footwear, and the Adidas apparel, or maybe equipment, auxiliary equipment that we can have Reebok design and engineer. All the technology is going to communicate. So every single deal will be negotiated separately, and every agreement can be different. The original investors don't have any access to that, but they will have access to the tour. Meaning, after this auction and after this initial performance that will be live streamed, will be online, will be available for all digital platforms. We are going to partner up with Kick, Twitch, Discord, TikTok, YouTube, all these outlets, the Patreons, the StreamYards, all these tentacles of our network, so that they can partake in those events. And if they bring any other investments, endorsements, products or services to the table, then they can have a portion of whatever consultation fees that may be associated with incorporating all of those things. So it's very important for us to clearly convey that to all of the investors. The same way that we have no challenges and no issues working with both BlackRock and Blackstone, we're using that as an example when dealing with any other company. So there's no reason why we couldn't sign a shoe deal with Nike for footwear and do the apparel deal with Adidas. There's no reason why equipment cannot be leased out to Reebok. Even taking into consideration that Reebok has endorsement deals, distribution networks with Walmart. So this is a different ballpark. The same way that everybody is coming together and we're cross-pollinating. We're using everybody for marketing, promotion, and publicity, which is the most important thing. We're taking physical, real estate. We're taking digital prime real estate. Any other opportunity that stems from this project, they will always have the first ability to bid. Each one of those commemorative NFTs will have a voting right, not as a stock or a share, just as a priority client. In digital assets, it's very important to identify and classify every position of the company, every element, every product, every service. What is expected from the investors or the angel investor? Now, what is the main goal incentive? The main goal incentive is long term. What is long term? The Magic R1 system. What is the Magic R1 system? It is my own video game system. All verticals, all horizontals stem from that, because the video game system connects to all my technology. All the technology connects to all the apparel. All the apparel connects to all wearable technology. This includes medical and military designs, but these are civilian applications. This sets the foundation for the augmented reality glasses. All systems work together to create an immersive experience based on my entire catalog. So it's not just medical technology, military technology, it's not just autonomous systems, it is wearable technology, not just medical, but with the focus of entertainment. It's the video game system, it's the smartphone, it's the smartwatch, it's the Fitbit, it's the ring controller. All these things, it's the shifter for automotive. All of these things are part of the same portfolio. And anybody that does business with me and my family is going to have access to all these other verticals and horizontals. Plus, they're going to have the ability themselves to seek out opportunities and of course, be vetted by myself personally and my team, and become a partner. So this is a long-term value for value relationship. Intellectual property is reserved for BlackRock and for Blackstone, or Endor to the highest bidder. For the record, and let the record show. Other than that, we will use all of the resources from all of the companies that want to get involved. So let's break this down a little bit more. Augmented reality is taking existing technology and improving on it and designing and engineering our own versions of it, utilizing our technology based on the catalog. So when we speak about Nike, we know that we can create a beautiful boutique shoe, but we cannot create a beautiful boutique shoe that is high performance. Therefore, we'd rather not invent the wheel, but work side by side to incorporate both technologies. The same is true with the video game system and the video games that we're building for the system, the augmented reality. Those technologies are off the table in this investment because they were previous military designs that became medical designs that are now being formatted for civilian application through entertainment. So the purpose is to create a completely immersive system, and everything works together like magic. This is why the system is called the Magic R1 system. Now, all of the technology, all of the footwear, all of the apparel, all of the equipment, everything related to our brand communicates with each other. That is our technology. From the sneakers to the clothing to augmented reality to the wearable technology, everything works in a unison. So let's give a little bit of context here. When Michael Jordan was signed by Nike, he became the first basketball athlete for Nike. So in this pursuit, in this project, in this exploration, right, what we're doing with this project, it's not only to set and establish all these historical records, not only through Guinness, but on the blockchain where you can't fake it, you can't, it is what it is, it's verifiable, it's decentralized, it's public ledger, and all that good stuff. Now, this is what the actual investment is. It's bringing all of these technologies together so that if anybody wants to challenge the records, we're setting a new bar for doing business. We're going to prove that we can close the sneaker deal with Nike and close the apparel deal with Adidas and close the equipment deal with Reebok and work all together because we're not here to compete with each other. We're here to give strength to every brand and every person and every company that is involved with this project because at the center of it is my catalog. It's my music, it's my life. There's no price that anybody could ever pay for what I bring to the table. But it's important to let people know that this investment only deals with the auction, but also mention that the tour is available. Also mention that all these other things are coming. Again, reserving intellectual property for BlackRock and Blackstone. It's important because now we don't have to talk about documentaries or have to talk about sitcoms or digital series. We don't have movies and comic books and video games and poetry and merchandise because all of that is part of intellectual property. Let them negotiate with Universal, Warner Brothers, and Sony. Let them deal with the music industry side of things. I'm not interested in that. That's not my world. I need to make sure that I set up a foundation for everything else. So in the wearable technology space, we already have working prototypes for everything. All of these products and services will be showcased in the same way you see these new technologies in tech shows or in automotive shows where they show you, the past, the current, and the future. and they have every brand displaying all of their latest developments. That's the intention of the convention, which is the auction, which is the concert, which sets off the chain reaction of events for every person that invests understands that this is a historical moment in technology, in music, in art, in entertainment, and in e-commerce, because what we're doing is showing people of the world how business will be moving forward. This is not something that happened overnight. We've been working on this for a very, very long time. So, putting all of that into context, this is the basics of what the investment is. When people invest, whether it's one angel investor, equity investor, venture capital firm, non conventional financing, that is of the least important to me. Everybody wants to invest in Web3. Everybody wants to invest in AI. Everybody wants to invest in technology. Everybody wants to be a part of the winning team. Everybody wants to be a Yankees fan. Everybody wants to be a Lakers fan. Only more opportunities will present themselves. For example, Christie's and Sotheby's. We don't have to select one or the other. We can do business with both. We'll break the mold of what they already do. Either we do business or we do business. And if we can't do business, it's okay. We're going to continue doing business. So, this is the most important element that I can bring to the table because of many limitations from our background, our cultural background. It's not cool for us to know technology and to dominate technology. So, this is just step one. We're already showing you day one that we're ready to do business on this level. And whoever's interested is welcome to do business with us on this level. If they're not interested in being part of a historical event, then we're not interested in doing business with them. And the same way I have my religious beliefs that I believe in donating a percentage of everything that I make, I require the same for all parties involved, including the investors. And that is a non negotiable. For everybody that invests, I'm already going to take a portion that's going to go directly to charity. If you're not interested in that, we don't need to do business. 200% guaranteed return is the day of the auction. This is not an investment that you're going to have to wait 24 months or 36 months or 60 months or 72 months or 86 months. None of that. Everything is set up digital. As soon as Bitcoins come in, they will get distributed into the system for all prospective investors and everybody involved. We will not do any transaction outside of Bitcoin or Ethereum or Tron. Um, there are other opportunities. There are companies such as the company that is owned by the Trump family, where they've handled, distribution peaks for different digital projects, and we will welcome all of those companies. We will sit down with all of them, and again, a part of my personal budget will be to host and hold some of those meetings because we are here to secure the best possible opportunity in everything that we do. The same way that Michael Jordan was the first basketball athlete for Nike, I'm going to be the first digital art in perpetuity, eternally, and the first musician to do so, which makes it something different. As far as everything else, it's as simple as that. Now, let's talk about the actual tour side of it, including but not limited to intellectual property, which we've already delegated to BlackRock and Blackstone. The same way they can work together, everybody can put their differences aside and work together. So, the biggest venue monopoly is with Live Nation. Their biggest competitors are Peerspace and Gigster, and every other major venue that is not under contract by Ticketmasters or Live Nation. We will go directly to Live Nation and Ticketmasters to negotiate our tour in the same terms as their biggest contracts, which we don't need to mention because everybody in this industry knows exactly what we're talking about. Now, whatever opportunities stem from that is completely fine. We don't have to choose one, we don't have to choose any of them, but we are still going to continue doing business. So, whether we create the competitor inbred to Rock Nation, we have every intention to do so. This is the investment and the project you're getting involved in for all the investors. Number two, we're still going to include Gigster and Peerspace and every other venue that is not under contract through Ticketmasters and Live Nation or Rock Nation. Really, Rock Nation. I mean, not Rock Nation, Live Nation as a company. I meant to say Live Nation and what you call it, and Ticketmasters. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me readjust this. Okay, let me continue. So those are all different contractual agreements. Those are all different breakdowns, but they are still essentially part of what this investment is. This investment is the catalyst for all of those things. Hey, I'm live on all platforms, just so you know. So if anything, let me know. So basically, this is what we are working on. Everything stems from the auction, the world tour, and any partnerships that we come incorporated at every live performance. And not only will we have this tour going permanently, indefinitely, we will be contributing to every other entity that is part of this investment. So 200% return on investment the day of, with the option to be involved with any project that we bring to the table and the opportunity for them each to have a vote and bring any opportunities to us. So, do you have any questions? Okay, thank you. Mhm. No, it's just the opportunity. It's just the opportunity to get involved in the future. They will always have a. It's like a priority. Like you're gonna be part of an exclusive club. So that's how I'm gonna do it. It's like a membership. Think about it like that. Whatever you bid on for the NFTs, that's your price for membership, and then we'll use that pricing to determine a set rate for other people that want to get involved. Yep.